Rodeo is one of the most dangerous sports, demanding courage and willingness to face intense physical risks. Riders challenge half-ton bulls and powerful broncos, unpredictable animals with enough force to cause serious injury. High-impact falls, broken bones, and concussions are common outcomes. Even with experienced rodeo clowns and safety teams on standby, a single misstep can turn a routine ride into a life-threatening wreck. Before we dive into some insane rodeo wrecks that keep getting worse, hit that bell icon and become a subscriber. And let's begin. Pistol Robinson. One of the most gut-wrenching wrecks in PBR history happened in 2012 at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Bull rider Pistol Robinson faced off against Carrillo Cartel, a powerful and fast bull with a reputation for wrecking riders. Carrillo Cartel went into a furious spin with Robinson pinned beneath him. The bull trampled him, breaking his spine, shattering his right femur, and, as if that wasn't enough, crushed his left fibula and tibia. When Robinson arrived at Bellevue Hospital with 2 broken legs and a shattered spine, the doctors took one look at him and thought he'd been hit by a cab. They couldn't believe anyone would end up this wrecked from bull riding. But this wasn't enough to stop him. After his recovery, he continued his PBR journey up until 2016. Chris Shivers. Another harrowing story in professional bull riding is that of Chris Shivers during the 1998 PBR Boise bull riding blowout in Idaho. Having turned pro in 1997, Shivers was eyeing the PBR World Finals, but his ambitions took a terrifying turn when he faced Shorty, a notorious Mexican fighting bull. Shivers managed to stay on Shorty for a considerable time after the metal chute opened. However, things quickly escalated as he was thrown off the bull and lay unconscious on the ground. An aggressive Shorty charged at Shivers repeatedly, inflicting brutal hits with its horns. PBR commentator Justin McBride described it as one of the most gruesome things I've seen in my time in this sport. One of the most iconic moments of the rodeo took place when Shivers raised his arms to signal to the audience that he was okay. He received medical attention right on the arena dirt with an IV placed in his arm to stabilize him. Amazingly, he returned to competition just 3 weeks later, defying everyone's expectations. Tag Elliott. Back in 2007, 19-year-old Elliott was one of the most promising young riders, but on July 24th, a tragedy took place during his attempt to ride a bull, fittingly named Werewolf. Elliott leaned forward to start the ride, but Werewolf lunged back, catching him off guard. The bull's horn struck Elliott's face, piercing his jaw and eye socket and shattering several teeth. Elliott was knocked out instantly. The bullfighters at rodeo staff rushed in to shield him. It took a 10-hour surgery and 2 resuscitations to stabilize him. Over the next years, Elliott was to get more than 20 surgeries to reconstruct his face and regain strength. Despite setbacks, including failed tissue grafts and constant pain, Elliott remained focused on one goal: to get back in the saddle. After a long recovery, he was back on the bull circuit by 2009. His determination drove him to the National Finals Rodeo in 2012, where he returned to days of 47 to face his fears. Bo Schroeder. Bo Schroeder's life changed forever on March 24, 2013. At an Extreme Bulls event in Mojave, Arizona, the China, Texas cowboy faced the biggest challenge of his life. During his ride, Bo found himself thrown to the dirt by the powerful bull 800 Night Moves. The bull's hooves came crashing down on his chest, tearing his trachea and collapsing both of his lungs. He was airlifted to the University Medical Center in Las Vegas, where he underwent emergency surgery to repair his damaged trachea. For weeks, he fought for his life in intensive care, unable to talk, walk, or even breathe properly. Brady Janroe. In April of 2016, Brady Janroe's rodeo career came to a stop after he suffered a massive injury. While riding a horse named Thunder Bay at the Fargo Dome in North Dakota, As Janroe dismounted the horse, his foot got locked up and the horse trampled over his head, crushing his skull. The impact of the horse's hoof caused Janroe to suffer multiple skull fractures, specifically 3 fractures in his skull. After the accident, Janroe was placed in a medically induced coma for 5 days to allow his brain and body to heal. Following his recovery from the coma, he had a metal plate surgically fused to his skull to help stabilize the fractures. Brendan Clark. Brendan Clark, an Australian bull rider on the professional bull rider circuit, faced a life-threatening injury in April 2009 during an event in Omaha, Nebraska. During the second round of the event, Clark drew a bull named Black Smoke. In a jaw-dropping moment, as Clark slipped to the ground from the back of the bull slammed its hind legs into Clark's sternum and abdomen, causing catastrophic injuries. The impact resulted in a lacerated liver, contusions on both lungs, and broken ribs. Clark spent 3 days at Creighton University Hospital, where he received treatment for his injuries. Dr. Tandy Freeman, the PBR's medical director, assessed the situation and stated that Clark was fortunate to be alive and able to ride again, given the severity of his injuries. After his hospital stay, Clark returned home to California. However, he was sidelined for the next 4 months of the season. Jerome Davis. Jerome Davis was having a fantastic start to the year in 1998, charging up the PBR rankings and sitting at the top of the world standings. But on March 14, at the Tough Hedman Championship Challenge in Fort Worth, Texas, his life took an upside-down turn. Davis drew Knock Him Out John in the first round. He held on until the 5-second mark when the bull made a sudden forward lunge. With that, Jerome's head collided with the bull's, knocking him unconscious. As he fell, he landed headfirst, suffering a severe fracture and dislocation at the base of his neck. The accident left him permanently paralyzed from the chest down. He had enough points to qualify for the PBR World Finals that year, but Jerome's life was never the same. Tough Hedman. In the 1995 PBR Finals in Las Vegas, Tough Hedman drew Bodacious, a bull who had returned after a break with a new trick up his sleeve to knock out the riders. He was famous for his signature move, luring riders forward before launching his head back with bone-crushing force. Hedman was riding with more confidence than ever, but in a split second, Bodacious, in a brutal move, shot his head upward with extreme force, smashing into Hedman's face.
Let's watch it. 2 great athletes. Watch the flashballs. Here we go.
Right up, Tuffy. Right, he's knocked out. Open that gate, boys. Open the gate, boys. They got the
When
gate.
Hedman hit the ground, he was numb. His teeth wouldn't come together, and it was obvious that his jaw was broken. Paramedics couldn't find the ambulance driver right away, so Hedman, in true rodeo spirit, just sat back by the chutes watching the event on TV while his face swelled. He even asked someone to let his wife know he was okay. By the time he reached the hospital, doctors discovered that every major bone in his face was shattered. It took 2 surgeries and 6 titanium plates to put him back together. Hedman's face was rearranged permanently, so much so that his 4-year-old son didn't recognize him when he got home. But with a cowboy's humor, Hedman later said, "If I'd been Clark Gable, it might have been different. I was ugly to begin with." Lane Frost. One of the most famous rodeo wrecks was that of Lane Frost, which took his life away. Famously called The Last Ride, the rodeo accident took place on July 30th, 1989 at the Cheyenne Frontier Days Rodeo. He was riding a Brahma bull called Taking Care of Business when he fell off the animal and the bull came back for him. The horn did not break through Frost's skin, but the blow was strong enough to cause massive internal injuries. He then stood up and motioned towards his longtime friend Tough Hedman for help before collapsing face first into the muddy arena floor, puncturing his heart and lungs. The 25-year-old was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead. It is believed that the bull broke Frost's ribs, which then severed a main artery. As we wrap up our video, it's clear that this thrilling sport is as dangerous as it is exhilarating. The courage of these athletes who risk everything for a few seconds of glory is nothing short of inspiring. From life-threatening injuries to miraculous recoveries, these incidents show the resilience of rodeo riders and the passion they have for this sport. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What's the most shocking rodeo wreck you've heard of? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more rodeo content. Until next time, stay safe and keep riding.